Oscar, I think you've been in the state most of your life. What is your familiarity with this rivalry, and how does it settle on you with all the different rivals you have in this program?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge one. Best team in the state wins, and Governor's Cup. I mean, it's a huge trophy, and it's a huge game that we look at every year, and I know they look at it every year. And we got a lot of guys over there that were with us previously, so it'll be a fun one.
Oscar, I want to ask you about one of those guys, Brett Seither. What did you learn being around him last year, and what was he like as a team?
Yeah, I mean, he was always with me. Kind of brought me in under his wing when I first got here. Still one of my good friends to this day. We talk all the time, but he really just showed me kind of like how to manage school and football and workouts and everything, and just kind of becoming that college student out of high school, because he did the same thing that I went through, and it was just he just kind of showed me the ropes, really.
I guess just speak to the environment you guys played in Saturday and what the message was in the locker room in terms of just handling the crowd noise and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was a fun place to play at, huge stadium. They had a great turnout, and they were loud. But I mean, we control the environment ultimately, and we don't really like to let those external factors kind of dictate how we play or how we do our thing. So I mean, we were prepared for it. We practiced all week for it, knowing how it was going to be. And we just knew if we played our style of football, everything would take care of itself.
What's the schedule like for this week with Thanksgiving in it, but still preparing for one of your rivals?
I mean, it's a normal schedule. We're doing everything that we normally do for every game. I think we'll get out maybe a little bit earlier on Thanksgiving, just for some guys to be able to get home and have dinner with their families, and we don't have school. But other than that, I mean, it's a normal week for us.
Oscar, what do you feel like it says about y'all's offensive line that Saturday Tate gets hurt, and Micah and Dylan come in and they continue to play as well as they did after that injury?
Yeah, I mean, we've known all year long. I mean, we've got so much depth at the O-line that we really have 10 starters on the O-line. I mean, we can play whoever we want, and there's not going to be a drop-off that you see like some lines in the country. I mean, I think that Coach Searles and Coach Bogo do a great job preparing all those guys, and they push each other, and having leaders like Sed and Tate and all those older guys in that line, it helps a lot, and it gets the younger guys ready quicker.
Just sorry for bringing up something negative. You had a drop in the game. It was pretty up. One of those almost too open kind of situations. But I just wonder internally, is there like internal repercussions? Obviously, that would be a negative grade on that particular play. But like, I mean, do you do something just up downs or something when you come in on Monday and they review the tape, and just how do you approach it when something like that happens? Clearly, you didn't want to.
I mean, it's just a mental drop. I mean, everything was perfect in that play. Just I messed it up. It was on me, and the only thing you can do is just put it behind you, look to the next play. I mean, I'm going to do the same thing I do every week. I'm going to get on the jugs machine at practice every day. It's just one of those plays that I usually make, and I just didn't make it, and I just got to fix it for the next time. But we try not to think about that stuff. We just kind of put it right past us, because when you think about those drops and let those kind of affect you, it'll just carry over to the next play.
Brock, going back to the Tennessee game, we saw Brock get into something. You were right there with him. What happened? You looked like you were about to jump into a scrape there.
Yeah, I mean, Bowers doesn't usually freak out under the pile, and I saw him start freaking out, so I knew something was wrong, so I just tried to get in there and get him out as quickly as possible. I didn't really know what was going on, but didn't want anything to escalate any further. Didn't want any flags thrown for sure, so we just tried to get in there and get him out.
Did you say what happened?
I don't know, him and another player got into it. I don't really know exactly what happened, but he didn't like what happened, so I just got him out of there.
Oscar, right over here. Oscar, ask you about Buster Faulkner, taking over the OC job at Tech. I know he worked primarily with the quarterbacks when he was here, but what kind of impact did Buster make when he was here at UGA?
Yeah, I mean, he was right side Coach Monka every practice with the offense, and he was always giving all the receivers, all the tight ends, everyone on offense his input, and just how to get better at practice. And I know what kind of coach he is. He's a great coach, and he's got a great offensive mind, so I knew he was going to have them ready.
Yeah, Oscar, Carson's been really consistent in terms of statistical output over the course of the season. What has sort of allowed him to attain that level of consistency on a week-in, week-out basis?
I mean, I think just a guy like him, he gets better every week. I mean, he lets tape speak for himself. I mean, I think he's the best quarterback in the country. He prepares every week like it's his last game, and he took advantage of his role this year, and he's going to keep taking advantage of it. And I think he's going to keep getting better every week, just like he does every day in practice.
Oscar, Kirby's talked about this team being able to take a punch, and I mean he's even joking around now about falling behind every game. But internally, how do you feel about the team's identity? And is the goal to get as dominant as the last 2 years' team's been? I mean, you guys are undefeated, but you know the fall behind thing is the thing coaches talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we're figuring out more of our identity every day. I mean, we just want to be a physical, tough team that goes in there every game and tries to make the other team quit. And I think that we just do it every day at practice. I mean, just the way we practice every week kind of speaks for itself. We're not trying to compare ourselves to any of the previous teams here or teams that have been here in the past. I mean, we're just trying to create our own team and our own identity every week.
Oscar, when you came to Georgia, did you think you guys might lose a game because that hasn't happened yet since you've been here? And you know, what's it like to be a part of a program that's doing what you guys are doing?
I don't know. I don't even think about that stuff. I mean, you just go every week and try to win and just stack wins on top of each other, and things just take care of themselves. I mean, I just know we got to keep practicing like we do, and just practice hard, play hard, and really just buy into the culture. Everything kind of takes care of itself.
So I know y'all watch more film on Tech throughout the week. Just what's your first impression of this Georgia Tech team and what it's been able to do this season? You know, bowl eligible, first round of Brett Key.
Yeah, I mean they're a great team. It's gonna be a dogfight. We know they're gonna bring their best game. They've got really explosive offense. They've got some big players on defense, and they got a lot of guys that we've had previously in our program. And I just know how Coach Faulkner's running their offense is kind of similar to ours. And I mean they're an explosive team, and they've won their last 2 games. And I mean they're gonna come ready to play on Saturday.
This is a random question, but what are your rules about phones, like in meetings or you know, when you're in the building?
I mean, it's really just a given rule. I mean, when we're in meetings and stuff, no one has their phones with them. Everyone's just kind of locked in. It's almost like being at school, being in class. I mean, you're not gonna have your phone out. I mean, when you're at the facility by yourself, not doing anything, I mean, you can have your phone with you at all times and everything. I mean, we don't film in the locker room or any stuff like that, but really it's just when you go into meetings and going out to practice, no one has their phones. It's just kind of a given.
Coach Bobo obviously has a different personality than Coach Monken. Can you give us any idea what his pregame speeches and motivational speeches are like?
Yeah, I mean they're straight juice. I mean he gets us fired up for the games and after the meetings, and I mean he speaks right from the heart, and he really cares about us, and you can tell that he really loves us and loves us as an offense, as a team, and it's like we're in a big family. So I mean we really care about him, and he cares about us, and we all just go out there every day to play for each other and just are inside these walls, players inside these walls.
Got time for 2 more questions?
It seemed like Carson was getting the ball out really quickly Saturday. A couple of balls jumped on Brock pretty quickly. Have you ever been running around and been like, all right, I need to snap my head around much faster? Have you ever caught one off the face, essentially is what I'm asking you, because these quarterbacks nowadays, they're throwing the ball really, really quickly and on top of it.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. I mean it's all part of timing, and that's what we work at every day in practice. And different teams you play, you got to speed things up or kind of slow things down, just depending on who you're going against and the personnel you're going against. And just really kind of you find that rhythm with you and your quarterback, especially Carson, and just everything we do at practice. I mean, he's always going to put the ball there at the right time in the right spot, and it's great to have a quarterback like that. And we just kind of got to adjust to it and just kind of. I mean, he's going to make us right. So.
Another Carson question, but you said you thought he was the best quarterback in the country, and it's interesting that he's not going to stunt for himself. But in the whole Heisman conversation, we all understand why his numbers aren't what because of the way you play. But do you feel like your quarterback should be in that, at least invited to New York?
Yeah, I mean definitely. I mean you see what he does on film every day, and I think his film speaks for itself. And I mean it's not like his stats are bad. I mean you can look at quarterbacks that have been there previously, and I mean I think he deserves a spot in New York.
Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you.
Thanks, Oscar.